What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Arrival Entertainment, and today we're going to be talking about Moonfall, the new film from director Roland Emmerich. Moonfall is the newest disaster movie from director Roland Emmerich. It stars Patrick Wilson, Halle Berry, and John Bradley. And if you saw the trailers, then you know the premise of this movie is very simple. It's the moon going out of orbit and eventually going to crash into Earth. That's all you really need to know about this film. Roland Emmerich fascinates me as a director. He's done a lot of disaster movies, and it's to the point where when I hear a Roland Emmerich movie, I, for the most part, know what type of movie I'm gonna get. Like I said, he's done a lot of disaster movies. His movies can be very corny, very cheesy, very over the top, and sometimes it's enjoyable. Sometimes it misses the mark entirely. Also, reception-wise, his movies are all over the place. He can make a good movie, an okay movie, a boring movie, a terrible movie, a so bad it's good movie. I mean, the man's done it all. The Patriot is probably my favorite movie of his. I enjoyed Independence Day. I remember seeing The Day After Tomorrow. I don't remember much about it. I need to rewatch it, but I remember enjoying it. I enjoyed Midway. It wasn't great, but I enjoyed it. However, Independence Day Resurgence was pretty boring. Actually, well, not boring. It was just bad. 10,000 BC is a boring movie. I saw that movie once back when it first came out. Don't remember anything about it. Never wanted to go back and watch it again. 2012 is not a good movie, but there's aspects of it that I do enjoy, mostly on a so bad it's entertaining level. And let's not forget about Godzilla. Whoo, talk about a movie that's so bad it is so entertaining. I mean, I own that shit on 4K, and I don't even think I've ever watched it on 4K, but every time I see it on TV and my parents are watching it, I just laugh on how bad it could be. Basically, Roland Emmerich, he's done a lot, both good and bad as a director. And Moonfall had a pretty interesting premise to me when I saw the trailers. I mean, the moon going out of orbit and crashing into Earth, that just sounds big and epic and entertaining, and it could get away with being cheesy and over the top, so I feel like Roland Emmerich was the right director for this, since he's known for those types of movies. And there are aspects of Moonfall that I did enjoy. The effects in this movie are probably my biggest praise for this movie. It is so awesome and gorgeous to look at. This is going to be a gorgeous looking 4K Blu-ray when it comes out. I would say 98% of the effects look incredible. It was just so entertaining to watch. I'll talk about that other 2% a little bit later on, but for the most part, the effects are what's gonna drive people to this movie. So they had to look good, and they do look really good. It's probably the most entertaining parts of this movie. And I thought Patrick Wilson, John Bradley, and Halle Berry did work really well off of each other. Most of the middle and third act of the movie is those three characters trying to NASA the shit out of this and trying to figure out how to get the Earth back into orbit so the world doesn't end, basically. I thought John Bradley was going to be that annoying conspiracy theorist character who forces his comedy onto the movie, but his character did grow on me a little bit, and his funny moments did make me chuckle a couple times. And like I said, he did have good chemistry with Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry in the film. Unfortunately, the effects and those three leads are the only things that I really liked about this film. Everything else just fell flat for me. One of my problems with this movie, and I noticed this pretty early on in the beginning, the movie bounces all over the place. We're being introduced to this character, we're being introduced to that character, and this character, and this situation, and all the while we're getting fed information, a lot of expository information about the moon going out of orbit, while at the same time we're going here, this person's being introduced, and it's like, what is the main focus? The main focus of this movie is the moon going out of orbit. That's what people want to see. Yet there's a lot of downtime dedicated to these three leads and their family lives, which I get. You know, you want to develop these characters and show what kind of people they are outside of their NASA life. But those elements just weren't interesting. All the other characters besides those three leads, forgettable, bland, I don't even remember their names. Michael Peña's in this movie, and I completely forgot he was in this movie until I looked up the cast list right before I started filming. So that just goes to show you how they spent a lot of time developing our three main leads, yet they made boring and uninteresting characters to accompany them with. And going back to the movie juggling a lot of things, once we get the big epic disaster stuff, it's kind of like, okay, that's what we want to see because we know what the premise of the movie is. Yet there's a large chunk of this movie with our three leads trying to get the moon back into orbit, and they end up going through the center of the moon. And I'm not gonna lie, when they went to the center of the moon, I started to lose what was going on. Let me just say this. Conspiracy theorists are gonna love the shit out of this movie. I know there's a lot of moon conspiracy theorists out there, and they are just gonna have a gigantic field day with this movie. But I feel like the main stuff that we want to see as an audience members is what's gonna happen on Earth. And we do get a lot of that stuff. However, the downside to that is we're following characters that are not interesting, are very dull, pretty underdeveloped, and you just don't care about at the end. Because all the important people, all the people that they spent time developing, they're up in space trying to get the moon back in orbit. So something is mixed up here. And I don't know what was the best way to salvage it, because I understand both sides of the spectrum. I feel like the only way to fix that was to keep one or two of those characters that was up in space down on Earth to kind of guide these side characters along and to keep us somewhat entertained with the characters. But also at the same time, they've established that all three of our main leads are important characters to fix this problem. So you kind of need them up in space. I guess that just goes to show that it wasn't always going to work, I guess. There was also quite a bit in this movie that was pretty predictable. Lines of dialogue, action set pieces, character development-wise, it's all stuff we've seen before in other movies, just done better. I mean, Roland Emmerich, like I said, he's got a style that most of his movies revolve around, so I can see why he didn't want to change anything, but I feel like you needed something like that. And there's a subplot in this movie that I kind of knew what was coming, but at the same time, it didn't really have a place in this movie. With the world ending, of course, there's going to be riots and people looting and people robbing people and all that stuff, so I knew we were going to get something like that. And sure enough, there's a group of characters that rob our secondary characters while our main leads are up in space. And I was like, yep, there it is. And then it just stopped. And then they came back. And then it stopped. And then they came back. And then they died. So really looking back on it, yeah, that's what would happen in this situation if this situation really happened. It just didn't have a place in this movie, at least I felt it didn't. Now that kind of leads me into that other 2% effects-wise that I wanted to talk about. When these characters come back again, the characters that robbed our secondary characters, there's this big car chase. And you know how I said all the effects, 98%, looked really damn good? This car chase looked atrocious. This whole car chase was shot on a green screen, and oh my god, you can tell. This is some of the worst green screen I have ever seen. I mean, it looks like Birdemic. Here's a shot from Birdemic. That's the green screen level that this car chase looked like. And I have no idea what they were thinking. Could they have not have filmed a car chase like in real life and then work with this computer effects around that to make it the disaster elements? I don't know. I have no idea what happened to that car chase, but whew, that has stuck with me. That is some shit looking CGI right there. So overall, guys, looking back on the movie, I didn't know what to think of it when it ended. I was like, it's not good, but it's not terrible. I guess this movie is more of a mixed bag, but it's leaning more towards the bad side because this movie hasn't really stuck with me all that much after I saw it. In fact, I saw this film Tuesday, and I'm filming my review Thursday. I was originally going to film my review Wednesday, but I wanted a little more time for the movie to sink in, and even now filming it, this really hasn't really stuck with me all that much. So I can't really recommend Moonfall unless you just want a couple of hours to just kill at the theater, watch some fun disaster stuff, and not really care about the main meat of this movie. Unless you're looking for a movie like that, then I don't really recommend this movie. I don't really think you even need to go out and rent it or anything like that. So yeah, this movie's kind of a major letdown. Again, nothing really stuck with me besides some great looking effects. Again, it's going to look great on Blu-ray when it comes out. Yeah, I'm a loss for words right now. I basically said all I really need to say. You can judge for yourself if this is a movie you'd want to check out, but I don't recommend it, really. So guys, that's my review for Moonfall. Just like always, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the film down in the comment section. My next review is going to be for Death on the Nile. I'm really excited for that movie, and I want to do something different after my Death on the Nile review. There's 2 new releases coming out after Death on the Nile that I want to see. Marry Me and Blacklight, Liam Neeson's new movie. And I'm not sure which one I want to go see, so let me know in the comment section which review you would rather see, Marry Me or Blacklight. Whatever your thoughts on all that is, let me know down in the comment section. And as always guys, thank you again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and share it. Subscribe right here if you haven't already, and until next time guys, take care.